Okay, so people that have helped me through Endeavor Awards, through which I got my 4-month stay here, and my research built on work that I did for my PhD study that was funded by ASIA. And during my stay here, I've had a lot of interaction, made a lot of, built a lot of network with Crawford Funds because they facilitated a lot of awareness for my project with Radio Australia and other agricultural organizations. And a lot of thanks to this school for allowing me to be here, giving me office space and all that stuff, and for all the friendships and colleagues that I met here. And thank you all for listening. Questions? Yes, yes. The sending of messages, everyone is entitled to that to interpret those messages, but the beating of the drum is done by male especially. Although the myths behind the drum in this community is to do with a lady, that the drum is a lady. But the ladies have nothing to do with it but to interpret the message sent out by the drum and to follow instructions. But the sending, the designing of the message is done mainly by men. So it's with the consent of the community. I'm going ahead to see if we could have a lot more of these messages done. When it comes to recording of maybe indigenous knowledge on plants, medicinal plants, or the way they control pests and diseases, that's when care has to be taken. Like if they want to record on video especially their medicinal plants, then we need to do the proper intellectual property rights for them so that they benefit from it in the long run. Yes, yes. Electricity, it's all within that plan that there's plenty of sun in Papua New Guinea. So if we continue to live under the impression that rural people can't have access to the media that's going to be appropriate to them, we will continue to be lacking. So someone's got to have innovative ideas, and not innovative ideas only, but put them into practice. So if we have solar and everyone else is using solar panels, then why not this community? So part of the project is looking at equipment. So if I am to go ahead with this thing, with this participatory video, then those are some of the things that I really need to consider. That they have to have solar panels, they have to have some ways of having electricity, and the equipment has to be available, and it's got to be in a simple format that they can use and access. So it'll be appropriate to their level. Yeah. Video production skills, yes, that's why I mentioned through the presentation the limits. Video, if they can have software that's simple enough for them to use and know how to use the computer, and they're able to operate a camera that's simple enough for them to tell their own stories, because there's a whole lot of ways that people have used video cameras already. There are people in communities with very limited literacy levels who have already used it. But in this case, it's a whole lot of, it's the drum, it's the indigenous knowledge on the traditional media, indigenous knowledge on the content of agricultural crops and livestock that we're trying to all pack together while learning the video. So the workshop, the guidelines are designed in such a way that in a workshop, we will look at simple ways of where the rural smallholders or farmers can be able to handle, recognize different parts of the camera, be able to record messages and plan their message. And they even taught how to do basic directing of the video. So yeah, production things are taken into account. In the long run, I hope that this community will be able to do a lot of videos on their own. But they will still have to have that facilitation, the link to the resource people. They'll be doing it themselves, but it's got to have that network, outside network, supporting them. So for sustainability, the community will have to link to those relevant organizations. Yeah, so it can be a difficult thing, but that's what research is about. You try things, see if it works. We take risks and we see what's working, what's not working. But we don't only take risk for the sake of risk. We take risk, and if something doesn't work, that we are there to be able to be responsible for probably the unintended causes. Okay, so if I introduce video and something else happens, it introduces another social problem, then am I willing to be there to solve this? So there's a lot of those issues that we think about when we do that. Yes.
I'm going to go and have a look at Amanda Watson's research.
Yes.
But how much infiltration is there in terms of mobile networks across your particular community?
Telephone networks?
Yeah,
yes.
Particular mobile networks.
Oh, there is no internet, no Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they do have mobile networks being done now.
Mobile phones?
Mobile phones, yes, for mobile phones. And a particular service provider in Papua New Guinea is already using mobile telephones to send market information to farmers. Yeah. And yeah, so they only had to be taught what buttons to press on the mobile, and they get information up on the latest on prices of produce.
Because I mean, this is the future in terms of viewing and also in terms of capturing. So, I think that we sort of have to change our mind in terms of, and you can also edit on these things now, which makes it much more easier, and the technology is getting much more user friendly to be able to do that stuff. So
yep.
Thank you very much for that presentation. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll go and have a look at what Amanda's got to say.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's sort of all in a draft form now until it's trialed, and yeah, like I said, telephone is one of those things, but I haven't really delved into that on the manual, but it's the thought process that I've had in it that
I think it's about market too, and when you look around the world in terms of cell phone infiltration in some of the poorest parts of the world, everyone's got a cell phone.
Yes.
It just blows me away that's the case. So I think that's if there's a buck to be made, the providers will be there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that's one of the things that seriously has come to my attention. That if towers, mobile telephone towers, are built to the most remote communities in Papua New Guinea, and I've also read in other parts of the world, well, this is worth a thought from me.
Very much. Yeah. Thank you.
The service provider is slowly trying to introduce solar chargers for mobile phones, but at the moment, a lot of them are relying on the social network. When the batteries are low, they make a trip to town where electricity is, and so sometimes you go to homes in PNG and you see one PowerPoint with so many adapters, all telephones lined up.
Take a picture of that and see.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, so
it's cool.
So they're using that, but linking into their social networks, but it's not free. They're being charged.
Of course. Like I said, there's a buck to be made.
Yes.
There'll be people up there doing it.
Yes. So with participatory video, I mean, telephone some few years back was a difficult notion, the mobile phone, how would people use it? But they're using it now, and they're finding ways around the constraints they have. So participatory video, introduced into a remote community with no electricity and so far away from everything else, they'll find a way. People are innovative. But we have to hang around long enough to see the unintended causes and take responsibility for it.